and I think AJ's so calm, composed, and in the form of his life as well. You know, Daniel Dubois had a great win against Filip Hrgović, but he's not been in with Anthony Joshua, and I think Anthony Joshua was going to knock Daniel Dubois out.
Boxing pros have shared their thoughts on the most anticipated heavyweight clash between Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua. Duke McKenzie thinks that Daniel Dubois will cause a huge upset to Anthony Joshua, where they both meet in the ring next month. McKenzie, a fighter who won world titles in 3 weight classes, likes what he's seen from Dubois, and he's picking the champion to retain his title. He stated, "I don't know if he's the people's favorite, and I don't know if he's the bookie's favorite, and I don't gamble. But if I did right now and I had to pick one person to win this particular fight, I'm slightly leaning towards Dubois." Maxie Hughes also has the same belief that Daniel Dubois can cause a big upset when he faces Anthony Joshua. Joshua is a significant step up for Dubois, but Hughes, the former IBO champion, insists he can get the job done. "I'm going with the unpopular decision of backing Dubois. I've seen a lot of the interviews of other heavyweights talking about sparring them both and saying how hard Dubois is to Hughes when speaking to Seconds Out. He's gaining experience and coming off a very good win against Filip Hrgović, so he'll be confident, and obviously Joshua will be confident coming off his win. I just feel like when Joshua does get hit, he can sometimes fall to pieces." Prince Dasim Hamed is one of the most celebrated fighters from these shores and will likely be in attendance. Ahead of that, he gave his prediction to pro boxing fans.
Just that AJ Dubois prediction now, who wins?
The AJ, you know what? I think AJ wins, to be honest, by KO.
Fabio Wardley is backing Anthony Joshua to get the job done when he faces Daniel Dubois next month. Victory for Joshua will see him become a 3-time heavyweight champion, and Wardley, one of the division's brightest contenders, is confident Joshua can win. "I think AJ wins, and I think AJ will stop him," said Wardley when speaking to Seconds Out. When? Who knows, but I think he's big, he's strong. Not to say Daniel isn't at all, but I just think AJ is slightly sharper, been in the game a little bit longer, bit more used to the big stage. Matty Harris has shared the ring with Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois and has no problem picking the winner. It is an intriguing affair, with AJ considered the narrow favorite over his domestic rival, given his experience at the top level and ferocious punching power. And British star Harris, who has shared sparring rounds with both, insists Joshua has the tools to stop the clash inside the distance. He mentioned Dubois' previous fights and expressed that Dubois has a lack of defense. "I think Joshua might have a little bit too much experience for Dubois," he told pro boxing fans. "Dubois isn't gonna walk him down the way he walked Hrgović down. I know Hrgović can punch, but his shots, a lot of them were fast and he looked off balance." He further added Dubois will be a little bit more measured because he knows he can't get hit that clean off of Joshua, but if he's more measured, that kind of plays into Joshua's hands. Dubois, he's got an impressive gas tank. What heavyweight do you know that throws over 50 punches a round? When he boxed Miller, he consistently threw over 50 punches over 10 rounds. It's a lot of punches from a big man. Finally, he made his prediction and backed Joshua to win by a KO. "I'm gonna just call it and say I think Joshua knocks him out. I don't think Dubois has got a good enough defense. He's pretty straightforward. I made up my mind. I think Joshua knocks him spark out within 8 rounds." Dubois' win over the Croatian Filip Hrgović was brutal and thrilling, but has raised question marks regarding his defense in the aftermath. But his trainer Don Charles' adamant doubters will be proved wrong as they work on their defense for the upcoming Joshua test. "We have a lot of work to do," he told Talks at PORT. "The defense, everyone has lashed onto that and him getting with right hands. Yes, we can see that, and we are trying to improve." He further added, "They say he will get knocked out by AJ because he is leaking right hands. But in boxing, when you throw a right hand, you are also in danger of being hit with one yourself. If they are foolish enough to bank on that, they have something else coming. We aren't ignorant, we are going to work on it." He took far too many against Hrgović. "That wasn't the plan, but we will rectify that in the Joshua fight, and we are not going to this time." Carl Frampton said that it's a brutal fight as he thinks that someone is getting knocked out. He believes that AJ is the people's favorite and more favorable as he is more experienced than Dubois, but also said that it won't be a surprise for him if Dubois get his hands raised against AJ.
Coming through the adversity that he came through in his last 2 fights probably gives him more of a chance. I think that certainly AJ's the favourite. They're heavyweights, and Dubois is brave. And what I can guarantee is someone gets knocked out. And I think someone probably gets knocked out in the first 6 rounds, if I'm being honest. You have to favour AJ, but wouldn't surprise me if Dubois does it. Just they're big men, big athletic men.
Having sparred with both Joshua and Dubois, WBC Bridgerweight World Champion Lawrence Okolie provided his analysis of the fight. Based on actual experience, Okolie's observation clarifies the possible result of the much-awaited fight. "The outcome really hinges on AJ," Okolie remarked, appreciating the strengths of both fighters. "Dan, I have a lot of respect for him. We trained together, and from an objective standpoint, he's someone you can't underestimate. He's got serious power, grit, and determination. But if AJ can maintain one thing, thing, consistency. Using his long, straight punches effectively, he should come out on top. Oakley went on to discuss two pivotal events in Dubois' career: his stoppage loss to Joe Joyce and his exciting, yet unpredictable, victory over Kevin Lerena. Dubois dropped 3 times in the opening round of the Lerena battle before finally winning. He took a knee in the Joyce fight after breaking an eye socket. He stated, "We've seen it happen a few times with Dan. In the Joe Joyce fight and the Kevin Lerena fight, there were moments where you could spot a weakness in his armor. Despite all his strength and power, if you stay consistent, I think you can get the job done." And AJ, out of all the heavyweights, is known for his consistency. That's why I'm leaning towards him. Dorian Darch offers his unique insight into the upcoming Daniel Dubois of his Anthony Joshua fight. Welsh warrior Dorian Darch has fought both Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois, and even went up against Hughie Fury during his boxing career too. The man from Aberdare was adamant as to who the winner will be, wasting no time in providing his precise prediction for the post-summer punch-up. He began to explain his reasoning. Dubois, even though he's got tremendously better since he lost to Joyce, he just got caught far too much against Filip Hrgovic, and you can't get caught like that against AJ. It'll just be lights out. So AJ knockout, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to points. Dorian expanded on his estimation. I think it's got to be early to middle Joshua knockout, I reckon. Because I don't know if you watched Dubois' last fight to Hrgovic. In all fairness, he took the shots, but you can't take them shots against AJ. He took around 7 to 8 right hands, and you just can't physically take them off AJ. Eddie Hearn was seen in a recent interview with IFL TV. He said that he's confident in AJ as he thinks that AJ will put on an absolutely great performance ahead of his upcoming clash.
I only invited a couple of days ago. I'm going to go and see him next week. The word is looking sensational, but we'll see on September 21st. I'm very confident. I think he puts in a demolition job performance against Daniel Dubois.
Tyson Fury trainer Peter Fury believes both fighters are skilled enough to face each other, but he also thinks that Joshua is slightly more experienced and has that speed and to dominate. He stated, "Very interesting one, they can both punch for sure. You'd have to go with Joshua because he has that experience and he's got that sharpness and the speed. He's mixed at that level as well, that very high level." Oleksandr Usyk freely admits he doesn't like making predictions. However, the unified world heavyweight champion has gone away from usual habit of keeping his cards close to his chest to share his views on the upcoming showdown between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. Usyk explained to the Daily Mail in a recent interview why he is backing Joshua to get the job done and become a 3-time heavyweight champion. Usyk declared, Joshua has improved a lot psychologically. Of course, I believe he will defeat Daniel Dubois. I hate predictions, but is an Olympic champion against a UK champion. Anthony is a different level. Shane McGuigan believes that Daniel has the ability to knock out any heavyweight in the world right now. He thinks that Daniel has the speed and balance that could lead him to victory.
Daniel has always had that ability. When I was working with him, unbelievable ability, like great balance, great punch power, can throw any shot in the book. Most heavyweights can't really do that. They're stuck on like the jab and the right hand. He could throw uppercuts, hooks, he could throw them with speed. He lacked a little bit of intensity, lacked a lot of belief. But I feel like the last couple of fights have really brought that out of him, that confidence. He's still a young heavyweight, and he's got the ability to knock any heavyweight out on the planet.
Tony Bellew has raised concerns about Dubois' defense, suggesting it's too vulnerable for him to withstand powerful right-hand punches from Joshua without ending up on the canvas. If he fights AJ next, it ends quickly and brutally, purely based on the fact that let's just put 2 and 2 together here. He took 56 clean right hands in the first 4 rounds. He added, "You'll get away with 1 or 2 against AJ, and then you know what happens? Then you go to sleep." I take nothing away from him. Amazing resilience and a huge amount of courage against Filip Hrgovic. But it's one thing Filip Hrgovic hitting you, and another thing a wrecking machine like Anthony Joshua hitting you. Adam Morrill believes that if Dubois has the potential to get his hands raised against AJ, he should come stronger and more durable. He also stated that Dubois' youth may play a major role on fight night.
And in order to win the fight, he's got to be around and alive and strong from round like 9, 10 onwards. And I think his superior youth may play its part at that point.
Anthony Crolla is impressed with Daniel Dubois' power, but he thinks he will fall short when he meets Anthony Joshua next month. Crolla, a former world champion at lightweight, has recently been speaking about the contest, and he gives the edge to Joshua. He stated, "It's such an intriguing fight. My worry for Dubois is that AJ has a fantastic right hand, and although Daniel takes a good shot, it's another matter taking that right off Joshua in small gloves." He further explained, "I do not rule out Dubois though. If he's still there after 4 rounds, then it could become his type of fight, and it's a real toss-up as to who has the heavier hands. I can't decide whether this fight will be over early or AJ catches up with Dubois late in the fight. It's not a foregone conclusion by any means, but I'm going with AJ to win by stoppage. Joshua takes on Dubois for the IBF World Heavyweight title at Wembley Stadium on September 21. The fight will be broadcast live on Sky Sports Box Office after Usyk announced in July that he had vacated the IBF belt. British heavyweight boxing star Anthony Joshua is poised to set a new attendance record at Wembley Stadium when he faces Daniel Dubois. The highly anticipated bout between the British heavyweights has the potential to eclipse the current record set by Tyson Fury in 2022. The event's magnitude is not lost on the organizers. Turki Alalshik, a key figure in the event's planning, announced that efforts are underway to break the Wembley attendance record of 94,000 set during Tyson Fury's clash with Dillian Whyte. With expectations high, an application has been made to increase the stadium's capacity, potentially welcoming over 96,000 fans. Turkey wrote the following on X: "Our request to extend the capacity for a record boxing crowd at Wembley Stadium for the Joshua vs. Dubois fight at the Riyadh Season Card Wembley edition has been approved. Tickets will go on sale on Friday at 12 p.m. UK time." Wembley Stadium will once again be the center of the boxing world as fans gather in record numbers to witness an anticipated clash between the giants that promises to be both historic and electrifying. So what do you think about this fight? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.